Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. Here again with my dad, my main mentor, Edward. And today is a wrap up of the last 16 weeks that we've been going through the lessons from the book, The Laws of Success from Napoleon Hill. And so we wanted to kind of wrap it up with what are your thoughts now that we've gone through the 16 laws? And you've given commentary on what you believe those laws are all about and how they can impact us. And now, as a wrap-up, what are your thoughts of just the book overall and your thoughts about life? And then we'll talk a little bit about how, if people are interested in this program, how they can come and join you for the lessons.
Well, to me, the laws of success, I live by them. I picked them up by accident, actually, many years ago, and I began reading them and began to get interested in what they were saying. And quite frankly, the 16 laws are really a lot of common sense, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of desire to live by those laws. We went through the 16 laws, and if I may, just kind of wrap up with what they are very quickly. The first one is develop a mastermind, and really what that means is get people around you that basically believe the same way you do, that have the same ambitions that you do, and develop this mastermind group that you can visit with, that you can discuss different topics, discuss desires, etc. The second one is to have a definite chief aim. There's no way to get to where you want to go if you don't know the road that you want to take. And that's the same thing with life. Look at what is it you want out of life, and what is it you want, and then go ahead and make up your mind that you're going to do it, and you work at doing it. The third one was develop self-confidence. Again, you're not going to be able to get any place if you don't have the confidence and the desire to be able to get whatever it is that you want. Develop the habit of savings. You know, there's always bumps in the road. That's what life is all about. And if you haven't developed that sense of saving, and if you haven't developed the habit of savings, those bumps are much rougher than if you had something to tide you by through those rough periods. Develop initiative and leadership skills. You're not going to get what you want unless you actually take the initiative and develop the skills that you need to get to that chief aim of yours. Develop a sense of imagination. We are the only creatures on earth that God has given us the ability to think and to imagine whatever we want to do. Our minds are so clear on that. When we take vacations, we automatically always think of what the place is going to look like, what we're going to do there. And when you get there, it may be the same or maybe not as to what imagine, but at least you've already done that. Life is the same thing. Imagine what you want. Put yourself in the place that you want to be, and use that imagination really to get there. Enthusiasm. No one likes a grouch. Very simple. If you are enthusiastic about what you're doing, people will follow you. people will go with you. If you just halfway do something, people will halfway do something with you. Self-control. If you want to get where you want to get, and if you really, truly want to attain that, you have to have a lot of self-control. There are things that are easier to do than others, and quite frankly, everything is easier to do than to do the big thing that you want out of life. So if you don't have the self-control to put your mind to doing whatever it is that you decide you want to do, it'll never get done. A habit of doing more than you're paid for, and that's not in money. I think I discussed that clearly. It's whatever it is you're doing. Do a little bit more. If you're helping someone, help them a little bit more. If you're developing a program, or if you're doing whatever you're doing, do just a little bit more. Develop that habit of doing just a little bit more. Having a pleasing personality. Again, nobody likes people that are negative. If you are always negative, you'll be around negative people. It's if you're always positive, you'll be around positive people. So your personality is you, and it depends on which way you wanna go. But develop accurate thinking. Develop the habit of being able to think of things that will help you get to that chief aim. Concentration. It's often been said that, and some people say that they can multitask. Multitasking is something that we all do, but you can't do it all at one time. You have to concentrate on what it is you're doing now. Do it, and then go on to the next thing. Concentrate on that one. Do it, and go to the next thing until you get them all done. Cooperation. We do not live in a vacuum. None of us do. If we cannot cooperate with each other, people will not cooperate with you. It's just that simple. And I can guarantee you, you won't get to that chief aim. Profiting by failure. We all look at failure as a negative, and it is in most cases. It can be a positive. If you look at that failure, admit the failure, look at why you committed that failure, and then learn from it and never do it the same thing over again. If you are able to do that, and if you're able to honestly tell yourself, I really messed up, and this is how I messed up, and this is why I messed up, and I'm not going to do it again. And so that from a failure, you can get to a positive. Tolerance. We all, as human beings, are one and the same. Whether our color is brown, whether it's black, whether our religion is the same, whether our philosophies are the same, we still are the same. We are human beings. And all of us need to tolerate, not necessarily agree with everything everybody does, but at least to tolerate. I often say you can agree to disagree, but never be disagreeable. And the last one is the golden rule. We all know it, we all hopefully practice it, but there's one additional part of that golden rule that we almost never even talk about, and that is think of others as you would like for them to think of you. Those are the 16 laws of success, and I'm going to finish with what I started, and that was the poem, The Guy in the Glass, if I may. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that guy has to say. For it isn't your mother, father, husband, or wife whose judgment on you must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts more in your life is that guy staring back from the glass. He's the fellow to please, never mind all the rest, for he's with you clean to the end. And if you're past your most dangerous and difficult test, if the guy in the glass is your friend, you may be like Jack Horner and chisel a plum and think you're a wonderful guy. But the guy in the glass says you're a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass. But the final reward will be heartache and tears if you've cheated the guy in the glass.
So there you have it. There's the wrap-up of the 16 Laws of Success. I've been watching you read this book for probably the last 50 years or so, over and over again, and you've obviously lived your life based on these. Actually, this card that he has in his wallet. I have one also. Anyone who's ever taken his class, he hands one out to everybody. And so to wrap up, if anyone is interested in this class, we are going to be setting up another class here within the next couple of months. Probably in July or August, and you can get a hold of Ellie at E-L-L-I-E at elevation180.com if you're interested in joining the next class. So thank you immensely for sharing your wisdom, and this has been an impact, a huge impact on your life and also on mine, learning from you through learning through the book. So hopefully this has been beneficial for you all. And we appreciate you. Take care.